Kaelin Kisney's eyes fluttered open to an unfamiliar ceiling. A single, flickering fluorescent light above cast eerie shadows on the walls of the room. She lay still, trying to recall how she'd ended up here. The last thing she remembered was walking home from the hospital where her mother worked, a small, rural facility that catered to patients with rare neurological conditions. Kaelin's gaze wandered around the sparsely furnished space. A narrow bed took up one wall, and against another stood a small dresser with only 2 drawers open. One contained a neat stack of clean clothes, the other was empty except for a single, worn photograph, an image she couldn't quite place. The picture depicted 3 people: Kaelin's mother, her father, who had been dead since childhood, and someone else, a person whose features were distorted in Kaelin's memory. A faint hum filled the air as the fluorescent light began to cycle through its phases again. As it dipped toward darkness, Kaelin noticed something strange. The walls seemed to be shifting subtly, like ripples on the surface of a pond. When the light returned, she saw that her dresser had moved about an inch closer to the bed. Panic set in as she scrambled from under the covers and stumbled toward the door. But it was sealed shut, or so it appeared at first glance. Upon closer inspection, Kaelin realized that the door was actually just slightly ajar, the gap almost imperceptible. She pushed on the handle, but instead of swinging open, it slid smoothly to one side as if being pulled from an invisible track. A faint whisper carried through the gap in the doorway, her mother's name, Zilek. Kaelin felt a shiver run down her spine as she tried calling out for her. The silence that followed was oppressive, heavy with unspoken messages that seemed to reverberate within Kaelin herself. As night deepened outside, Kaelin retreated back into the room, overwhelmed by an unsettling sense of disconnection from her own life. And it was then that the walls truly began to shift, ever so slightly at first but growing more pronounced with each passing moment until she felt like she was trapped inside a dream where time and space were twisted beyond recognition. When morning broke, Kaelin found herself perched on her bed, surrounded by an arrangement of hospital equipment she couldn't explain. A portable oxygen tank stood next to the dresser, its dial set at maximum flow, but with no patient in sight. The room itself now seemed smaller than before, the furniture packed together more tightly as if squeezed into a fraction of their original space. And on the wall opposite her bed, Kaelin noticed something new, an identification tag bearing her own name and mother's title, Neurology Specialist Zilek, followed by a single line etched beneath, Patient Care Protocol Initiated.